All right, you guys, in this final episode of A Little Tea Time with my interview with Mr. Brandon Jackson, we will hear about his nonprofits, Stepbrothers, and of course, you know we got to play a game of candy or corn. So y'all stay tuned, like, subscribe, and watch this episode. So we're gonna dive in and talk a little bit about your nonprofit. If you can just tell us why and what inspired you to start Step Brothers, and why has this become your movement towards giving back to the young King brothers coming up?
Stepbrother was birthed while I was in prison. And the reason it was birthed is because the AUs arrived to Angola on a Monday. And AUs mean new arrivals. And the entire bus, majority of the buses, you might have between 30 to 40 or more prisoners being brought to Angola. And the ranges was like from 17 to 21
Years old?
years old. And I'll never forget one night, Angola had their own radio station. You always know when it's about to come on because the DJ will say the only stations that kicks from behind the bricks. So after seeing all these individuals, these young men come to Angola, and hearing that warden at the time come on a radio station and say that he want all of the old men that's working in the field out, because he want the field filled with all these young men that's coming to prison to get the job done. And that's what he did. Seeing them at that time, because they were still picking cotton, corn, planting. 102, 103, 104 degrees with no shade nowhere.
And this is there in the 90s?
And this was in the 90s when I arrived in Angola. You know, you can see the cotton, but and seeing what those young men was going through, because now you're in a place where you don't have those guns, you don't have that crew that you thought you had. You know, you literally gotta stand on your own 10. And at that time, you know, you had Shreveport, you had Baton Rouge, you had New Orleans. And a lot of those young men would fall victim to the side. You know, they go through everything, you know, and they be lured in by, you know, the things that the older guys that been there, they'll, you know, peep you out, see what you like, move in. One thing leads to another, you know, willingly or forced. So, and I never condoned that. You know, just like I got zero tolerance when it comes to women, old people, and kids. I love them all. I got zero tolerance when it comes to that. And I got zero tolerance in seeing this young black man about to go on a situation and come out really damaged. You know, damaged. So I started talking to a lot of them, because at that time I had became a mentor, and when I arrived at Angola, the only mentors you had was, you know, giving you a knife, telling you to kill or be killed, you know, how to get the contraband in. But now you really got mentors. I mean, all these prisons receiving all this money because they got so many men that got their GED or got a trade, but they never tell you that it's another inmate that's tutoring these guys. But he might not be getting number 20 cents. And if you work in the field at that time, I think they were starting you off at like 3 cents, 4 cents. But I never worked in the field because I always been strong in the mind. So I'm gonna go lay down. You can lock me up because I'm not finna be put in a position to where I got a man over me on a horse with a rifle ready to shoot me if I step out the guard line, and I gotta pick this cotton, you know, and if I have a heat stroke, the ambulance will come quicker for the horse if the horse fall out from heat, quicker than they'll come for me. So I wasn't going. So once they seen that I wasn't going, they offered me a job. So I started doing what I had to do. And I became a good mentor to them, you know, telling them, you know, get your trade, man, get your GED if you don't have it. And a lot of them really be looking for that push. They really be looking for somebody to just show them, you know, that you care. You really want them to do this. And that's what they need out here right now. Because they're losing focus, and they have lost focus because you allowing 5 minutes of anger to get you 50 years in prison.
Great leap to this next question. What advice would you give to the young people who get to see this interview?
Life begins with the letter B and D. You know, B meaning birth, D meaning death. But I don't want them to ever forget C. Because C stands for Christ. And if you obey the Lord's word, obey your mom, obey your father, you will make the right choice. And that'll stop you from making your bed hard. That'll stop the pain that you will put your family through, and also yourself.
Okay, I like that. A few more questions, and then we're gonna get into candy or corn. Give me your favorite quote and why.
My favorite quote is, I want to read this to you because I don't want to mess it up. And it's a quote that I really want everybody in Shreveport to pay attention to because it's desperately needed. I want everybody to look in the mirror if you want change. A better person leads to a better parent. A better parent leads to a better family. A better family leads to a better neighborhood. A better neighborhood leads to a better community. A better community leads to what? A better city. A better city leads to what? A better state. A better state leads to a better nation. And a better nation leads to a better world. But you gotta start in your own backyard. You got to start within the four corners of your house, your home. You know, you got to start with your children. At one time, it was, we was disciplined the way that we needed to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, now you can't even discipline a child that, let's say a woman carried 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
or you help that woman create that child. We can't even discipline our kids no more, because now they'll put you in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And it was designed for that. It was designed for that. See, because they'll make statements like, they can watch my cars, they can watch these prison cars, they can watch these jail cars. You know, one of the wardens said one time that we was his children because our parents couldn't raise us, so he was gonna raise us. And there was a lot of things like that was said, and a lot of things that was did that just made me even stronger than what I was. You know, I know where my strength come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my strength come from my mom. You know, she went through heart attack after heart attack, COVID, kidney failure. She went through everything, cancer, and she beat it all. And every time she came to, she used to always tell the first person she seen, nurse. I remember nurses used to call me when she'll get them, you know, the number to Angola, you know, so you'll get an emergency call. So they'll come get you and put you on the phone sometime. And she used to always send me that same message. Tell him I ain't going nowhere until I see him free, you know, till I see him walk out that gate. And she seen it February the 11th. I made parole February the 11th, and they gave me an immediate release February the 11th. And I'll never forget, I called her. But the first time, they denied me, and she had a heart attack in Walmart that night because I had did everything that it was to do. And she said she sent the same message. One of the colonels came and gave me the message. She said she ain't going nowhere until she see you come home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why every morning it's so important for me to get up and we do Bible study. We meditate. She dropped them gems on me. You know, she always gonna do that. And like I said, I know where my strength come from.
Okay. A few more questions. Tell me 3 things you'd like to see better in our community here in the city of Shreveport.
One of the things I want to see is better roads. I was away since 1996, and when I started back driving recently, I turned down Murphy Street, and instinct kicked in. Nobody had to tell me to dodge, because, you know, after growing up in Shreveport, and my grandmother stayed on Kenneth, we used to always travel that road.
Mm-hmm.
And those same holes and same ditches and bumps is still in the same place in 1996.
That's over 20 years.
What? Yes, indeed, that's over 20 years. And since I've been home, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Vegas, I've been to California, and you can see the taxpayers' money being put to work. I recently went to Atlanta, and you might hit a bump or bad section in the road. You might every 30 minutes. but you hitting one in Shreveport every 30 seconds. So that's definitely something that needs to be changed. We need more facilities, built for these kids, to go and, if it's basketball, ping pong, we can set up some video games in there. We can set up some sections where, if they lacking in school, whatever area you're lacking at, let's get some volunteers down here, like some of those old retired teachers. Let's bring them out of retirement, let them keep their retirement check and pay them, because they're gonna give it to them. They're gonna give it to them how we came up. And I never understood why my mom used to always wear one pair of stockings to work, but she would always carry another one. And I recently found out, I had asked her, I said, yeah, that always stuck out to me. And I remember, because I went to Fair Park and she taught at Fair Park, she knew she was going to have to break up a fight. She ain't finna just sit around and wait on no security, which we didn't really have security in the schools back then. You had to wait on the principal, but they was off in the middle of it. I mean, real off in the middle of it. I used to see those teachers, and some of the students see them and be like, oh, here she come, let's get to class. I don't see them, drag you to class by your ear. Come on here. And like my mom used to tell them all the time, she say, listen, to all y'all that, be skipping and don't want to come to school, she say, but see, when the bell rang for you to be on this second floor, she said, I just want you in my class. She said, if you got to go in the back and put your head down and go to sleep, do that. But that just let me know that you alive. You're not somewhere laying in no ditch. Come to class. I even give you a D. Just come to class. Because I want you to live, Then I'm going to tell you about, what you need to do, what you doing wrong, And then she'll pull that rule out and tell them, you're going to get this the next time, And let your mama come up here talking about who hit my child. We don't have them type we don't have them type of teachers no more, and I'm just being brutally honest.
Yeah, those days are gone.
We not grabbing them, we not guiding them, and it's bad when you hear a lot of grown people say that I'm scared of them kids, I'm scared of them children, look what's going on. I remember at one time the children used to be scared of the parents. So we need to get that back. Yeah, we definitely do.
The last thing you'd like to see better in our community in Shreveport?
I want to help a lot of these homeless people. Everywhere you turn, you got one on the corner. And I would like to see a lot of these mental health organizations formulate some kind of service to where, send some scouts out, and when you see them, pick them up and bring them to the facility, and let's get to the root of the problem and see if we can help them. That's definitely needed, and we need to do better with a lot of these abandoned houses and, run down communities. We need to build them up, and not build them up to the point to where, y'all trying to bring in $1 billion corporation. Let's build them up and give them a better environment, to call home. Let's form some groups, and just go out and pick up all this trash. You can ride down the freeway right now, man. They got so much trash on the side of the road. And let's come together in unity. Even a lot of these organizations, let's stop bickering with one another. You know, let's stop trying to pull the next organization down or bad mouthing the head of this organization. You know, or let's stop making it be all about, you know, the grant money. You know, let's come together if you really serious about saving your city, saving these kids, where the next generation can look back and say, well, look, they was messing up in the beginning, but at the end, they got it right. You know.
Okay, tell people how can they get involved in Stepbrothers.
Well, you can go on Instagram at stepbrothers318@gmail.com. I'm on LinkedIn. Telephone number 318-820-0680. And my Facebook page is right now in the works. So right now, that'll be your way of contacting me.
All right. Final question before we get into candy or corn. What would be your wish for the next generation?
My wish for the next generation would be our generation. And I really want you to understand what I'm about to say, because a lot of people, they don't have an open mind. I would like our next generation to become more racist. And what I mean by that is, I don't knock, you know, when they're racist towards me. Only thing that's telling me is that I'm down with my people. I love my people. So that's what I want you to get out of what I'm telling you now. I'm down with my people. So if we become more down with each other and love each other more, man, crime will go down, killing one another go down, because now we have tapped into the love that they had back then, that our ancestors had. You know, when one ran away from slavery, especially a man, he brought his entire family. And it was to the point to where he didn't care if they lived or died, long as they died free. Because I'm not gonna let my children go through this, you know. Like, I remember one time I was reading, and they said a slave used to just get lashed because his croaker sack of cotton didn't weigh a certain amount. But you had other individuals that would take those lashes from him because he knew he didn't have, or she didn't have enough. Give me your bag and you take mine. See, we don't have that no more. And see, we need that. And if not, we're going to become extinct. Because what they got to learn and understand right now is that it's only two doors. And neither one of those doors are a revolving door. Once you go in, you're in. That's prison and death. Because they are handing out so much time. And it'd be crazy because you're going to see one individual come to prison. He got life sentence plus 99. He can't even do the life sentence. So what the 99 for?
That's crazy.
You know, you still got people incarcerated right now, got life sentence on drug charges. I just left them on drug charges. But the laws that they're putting in effect right now, by them being in the streets and not paying attention to, you know, the law, the news, they don't understand what they doing, especially when, you know, they shoot, because they trying to get it to where you can't even bond out. So if you get 60 years from the day that you was locked up, that's how long you gonna be in prison. Until that date, and you can't do no 60 years.
Wow. With that being said, let's transition into candy or corn. I'm gonna ask you about these candies. If you eat these candies, you can say candy. If you would not eat these candies, you can say corn. First candy up, peppermint.
Candy.
100 grand.
Candy.
Candy corn.
Candy corn. That's them little corns that got the orange, the white. I'ma bust them up. I'ma bust them up. What? We come up on them. I'ma eat the whole bag. What?
All right, the next one is Snickers.
Candy all the way.
All right, the peanut patty.
I'ma bust it up.
Mike and Ike's.
What? Man, I remember when they were 10 cents a box. They were 10 cents a box. Look, with the lemon heads.
Yes, sir.
You know, now later was 5 cents. You know, yeah, I'm gonna bust them up.
All right, Twix.
I love them. And I eat them a certain way. You know, you got the caramel on the top and the cookie on the bottom. I eat all the caramel off the top and then go back and eat the cookie part.
I like that. I like that. Skittles.
Oh, I love them. Yeah. I like the way when you eat them, your breath smells just like fruit. Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids.
I like them too. Candy, yeah.
And the final candy is jelly beans.
Man, that reminds me of Easter. What? Man, look, every elder in church, when you walk up to them on Easter, they gonna reach in their purse and they gonna give you some jelly beans, and you better eat them. Only ones I ain't like was the black ones. They didn't taste too good. They tasted like medicine. But guess what? After being locked up and eating oatmeal and rice and food that didn't have no taste to it, man, all them candies you just named, we can blend all of them together. Man, I'm gonna eat it. What? What?
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Well, with that being said, Mr. Jackson, it has been my pleasure and my honor to have you here on A Lil Tea Time. Again, thank you for just taking out your time for being here with us today. And again, if y'all are looking to be involved in his nonprofit, Stepbrothers, check out the links down below. We'll also have the link for his documentary, Brandon Jackson versus the state of Louisiana, also in the links below, so y'all stay tuned for that. I also got to send shout outs to Miss Katie Larson at Agora Borealis at 421 Lake Street. Just to send them my love and my appreciation down there. Y'all can check out my books available at the location, Agora Borealis at 421 Lake Street. Also got to send shout outs to the crew with Grade A Grub. We will have more shows coming for y'all, so y'all stay tuned for that. And as I say after every single show, remember to be great on purpose and not by accident. The future is now. I am Jarek, aka JarySD, your host of A Lil Tea Time. Until the next episode, you guys, stay well, be blessed. Hey, Mom. Love you.